I was just telling Florian that I was a serious chronic procrastinator for many years. And I also would, how do you say it, like a chronic, I would just start all these different things at the same time, and then I wouldn't actually complete it. Whatever that's called, I was that too. Maybe you can relate. Really, in the last couple of years, I've actually turned a lot of that around. I realized, look, I would run away from myself. I'm living here in South America. I thought that those problems, such as not returning a phone call, not returning a text to a certain person, or not setting a certain boundary with somebody who was, I didn't want to talk to, let's just say, or I didn't want to join their group or their religion or whatever, and I would not put up these boundaries. So I was running away from that. I thought that those things would just disappear. Well, they didn't. They showed up in all kinds of other forms on the other side of the world because it was me. I couldn't keep running away from myself because I needed to find the inner strength to set these boundaries in the first place, and also to find the inner strength to just get up and stop procrastinating. Also, what helped is finding this, what I was good at, finding this business that we made, get out of bed, we have a course and everything, finding something that actually made me want to work and get out and do that. So I would say, procrastination was something I was just like the king at, a lot of people can relate to that. I would say in the last couple of years, it has gotten so much better. And if I make a mistake, because I still do that from time to time. I don't, follow through on something that I said I would do. And I feel the conviction. And sometimes it gets so big, then I have to go face it. I have to go apologize to that person. I have to go do that. The difference is, I actually do that now. Whereas in the past, I might have kept running away, or I might have even changed my number, or who knows, if somebody was bugging me, I would just, screw it. So, I'm telling you, I feel so much better now in my life because I feel like I can look at myself in the mirror and my word means something more than it did. Is it perfect? No. But I'm on this path of success, and it starts with inside of here. We started this 30-day challenge course, that gives you some discipline for 30 days. Keeps your seed in, keeps you accountable for your own actions, because your actions matter. And I realized that I was hurting other people by not setting boundaries, because I thought that I didn't want to offend people, or I didn't want to hurt other people's feelings by saying no, when actually I was hurting everybody involved ultimately, because there was something that I didn't want to do. Maybe I didn't want to join some group. Maybe I didn't want to do that. And I would say I would try to be too nice. Maybe you know what that's like. Don't, so I just want to really express that. I can't speak for him, but man, just as his good friend here in life, I've seen him develop, I've actually learned a lot from him. Just he's done this practice that we teach and really ran with it. And I've seen him be able to just make decisions and stuff, and I'm learning from that too. And I know in my own life, okay, I'm setting certain boundaries. People can't talk to me a certain way that they used to anymore. I don't know. Look, this is kind of a weird sales video, right? What are these guys even talking about? I know that I can relate to a few things that he's saying, but what is it really about? Well, what do you have to say, Floyd?
Well, first of all, thank you for the introduction, brother. Procrastination is something that a lot of people struggle with. Pretty much everybody has that. You put something off. It's a normal human capacity to sometimes put something off for a little while. Sometimes it's even strategically the right thing. Look, what we're talking about is the benefits that our semen retention practice has brought to our own individual lives. And for me personally, I have to say, first of all, thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate that very much.
Indeed.
And for me, motivation never was the problem. I always was motivated to work, even when I was masturbating. But since 2 years, Austin has been doing this practice for more than 10 years. But I learned that from him initially, and I've done that just under 2 years. But what has happened then is that I developed strength. This is what was missing before. In the same way as we attracted each other as good friends, I was a little bit more clear. I had some strategies that he needed. He had the energy and the strength that I needed. So in this way, we complemented each other in a very beautiful way. So what has happened in my life is that I found the strength to push through and to stick with something. The business that we started, the other business that we have, the land that we just bought here, all those things, like exercise, for example, I push myself much harder and I can handle much more pain than I used to before. it has made me stronger. And this is a beautiful quality that the semen retention practice has added to my life. As I said before, I was always motivated. I always knew how to hustle, how to work 10, 12, 16-hour days if I had to, how to develop myself and how to work on something. But there is a line as well where sometimes it makes sense to quit something and sometimes not. You know, sometimes you have to change your approach instead of like banging your head against the walls like this is how I want it to be. There is a balance, it's something that you need to learn. But also, it's very important that everybody is aware of like, why am I considering quitting? Is it because I'm weak, because it's too hard, or because this thing really is not the right means to get me to my outcome, what I envision? Does that make sense to you guys? So strength is certainly something that is brought to my life, but we are all different. When you are struggling with motivation, if you're struggling with being tired, if you're struggling with feeling overwhelmed, one other benefit of semen retention is that it makes you able to handle much more. Like you stay in your center and things come flying to you from all directions and you are more able to handle them. There are many benefits to that practice. They're very specific to you. So if somebody out there has never heard of that practice, now you've heard of it, if you've never tried that, I really suggest you give it a go. 30 days, you can do anything for 30 days. The whole practice is nothing weird, no cult, you don't have to follow us. What it means is you abstain from watching dirty videos and masturbating. That's what it is. And so the energy that would otherwise get out of your system, expelled every night, stays within you. So your testicles don't need to use the energy to reproduce all of that sperm, so much more energy stays in your body and you can use it for other things. And it is a beautiful practice. Warmth inside, I'm feeling that much more as well. You were talking to me a lot about love of God entering you. It's a good practice, you guys should give it a go.
Yeah, wow, I'm speechless. I was thinking some weird stuff too, like, this is gonna be hard to explain, just bear with me for a second. The things that you start thinking about, and I wouldn't say worrying, but the things that you start considering out, posture, how you present yourself. These things that when you're so low and you're stuck in masturbate, you don't even think about that. You're not even thinking about what the presidents of the other countries are doing, you know, all that stuff actually matters. How you conduct yourself, what you say, your actions, because all that is energy. Whether they're saying all that, whether they realize it, they know that to some degree, you know, that everything that you do has a potential energy, you know, waste of energy, or you're giving it. If you blow up and yell, you're losing energy, you feel that. So all doing this practice, all that stuff kind of comes up, and you can't really like run away from it as much. You know, I was just sitting here overthinking it. Okay, and how's my posture? It was kind of weird. I had my hand right here. So, you know, these are things though that you actually you don't even think about before. And you get to a different level. I want you guys to be on that level too. It's kind of cool. You start understanding things that you just didn't really understand before. So I know it was kind of complicated. Whatever, it doesn't have. You just, you know, our suggestion is, look, we're just being ourselves too. You know, like we're trying to figure out and make this video to try to talk to you as a other person, as the other person through this camera. It's kind of weird. We're here in Peru. We're talking to you through this camera. We're trying to get you to join our 30-day challenge because we believe it's going to help you, you know, and we want to see other people succeed in life. That's just the true bare bones truth of what we're doing right here. You know, I know in my life, procrastination, drug addiction, every kind of addiction that I just went deep into, man. And I really believe in this practice. And the evidence is in our lives. Even though you guys aren't here exactly right now, you don't know, well, we're sitting here in South America, okay, great. I'm telling you, our lives, both of us, are a lot better, you know, than they were before. Personally, was in a really rough time. You know, I've gone through some rough times in addiction in the United States and been down there, you know, been down there. I'll save you the horror stories, but I know what that's like. And just my life is in extreme, just like you can't, it's a whole nother reality that I'm living in. Is it perfect all the time? But man, it's getting so much better, and I'm starting to understand what it's like to just walk with some self-respect. And when you're watching those dirty videos, and when you're doing drugs, and you're doing things that constantly keep piling on some kind of guilt, putting calluses over your heart, and you just don't live with that kind of, he was at the end talking about, God coming in. I mean, really, you have all that stuff in, it's hard for God, and just more energy to kind of flow through your body. It really is. Really is. Forget the religion, forget all the new age spirituality stuff. Look, maybe it's just that simple. Maybe it's just like that. Looking at it simply from an energetic standpoint. So we really believe what we're doing. We really want to show you more of ourselves, who we are, without trying to have a whole agenda behind it. So look, we suggest trying out the 30-day challenge. Check it out for yourself. Check it out. Anyway, we'll see you guys.